Howdy folks, welcome back to Space Engineers. It's just a lovely day here in the valley. A nice gentle rain. Yeah, it's not the best, but you know, it is what it is. Tiny Miner has been busy. Let's go check out his little hole over here. I had to move him a little bit. He was getting too much into the nickel. There's quite a bit of nickel over here along with the iron, so I moved him over here. And yeah, he got down to that iron. We've got quite a bit of stuff. The storage was getting full. I've just got the two small cargo containers at the moment. So I have paused him. But we are swimming in resources at the moment, so that is good. Nickel. Looks like we might need to go ahead and switch it over to nickel. So let me do that. And then we don't have silicon ore. So we might do, let's tell you what, let's do this. Let's put stone in there. And then let's throw 1,000 nickel in. And then we'll fill the rest up with iron. I still need to get a little data center built. And get some programmable blocks. So I can do like Izzy's inventory manager, that kind of stuff. I don't have that yet. But anywho, what do we got on the to-do list today? We need to build an ice intake and an irrigation system. And then try to get a start on the farm. So to grow stuff, we do need water, and we get water from ice, obviously, in Space Engineers. So the plan is to build a little intake system. There'll be another tiny miner that's going to go to the lake and bring ice back. But I think I want that ice kind of isolated. I don't want to just overwhelm all of our storage with ice for that. So I kind of want to be a little bit smart about how we do that. I want it to be separate. So let's take a look at the irrigation system. That's what we're going to need to build. And it has connection on the side or the top. Nothing on the back. So I could put that like here and build around it. And then have the ice come in from the side, or do we want to do it? Maybe we should build up a little bit. Just have one little cargo. I don't know how much this holds. Do we want Tiny Miner just to keep it full? That might be good enough. I don't know how much water we're going to need. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just have Tiny Miner keep this guy full. So let's build up here with some interior blocks, because he's going to need a little bit of room. So I come up 2, and then that would be plenty. And then we're going to build kind of a building around this. So I want that guy facing that direction. Or actually, I keep changing my mind. I don't really have a plan if you're new here to the channel. I just kind of build, and it usually works out. So let's do like that. And then we'll have a conveyor junction up here. And then we can have the docking port, as it were, over here.
Fuel low.
Yeah, fuel low. I'm going to fall out of the sky.
Fuel critical.
But I may want to come out just a little bit before we put that. No, that didn't work. Fuel critical. Did I dump my tank? Where'd my tank go? Didn't I have a hydrogen tank? Okay. Oh, that's full again. I would have swore I had a hydrogen tank. Did I leave it over at the other base? That sounds like something I would do. Okay, well, we can build one of those. Let's go to our assembler, and it's under equipment, I think. Yeah, there it is. Hydrogen bottle. Let's make ourselves one of those. Let's get that filled up. So we can fly around and do some building. So anyway, I want the connector to come a little further out. So we're going to actually build around that sort of building. And that building's going to hide some of the mechanism that we're going to use to harvest the crops I do have a little bit of an idea of what I want to do for the actual farm itself. And we're running a little low on wolf meat. The problem is the guns shoot the wolves, and then I can never find the wolves. So they're out there in the grass, dead somewhere. So let's go down here. Let's chop this off, and we'll come out a little bit. So I actually want to come over to this guy, and I think one of these reinforced tubes like that, and then we'll have our connector out here for the tiny miner to hook up to. So he'll have the connector then, and then whatever storage this has, he can keep that full of ice. Oh, I need a conveyor sorter, don't I? So I could just make that the conveyor sorter. Yeah, because we're going to need to pull stuff in out of the tiny miner. Redo. So we want you to be a conveyor sorter of the pull-in variety. There, maybe that's what I want to do. Build planner is empty, perfect. Build planner, notoriously unreliable. I clicked on... Oh, it did actually click. It just didn't make the little bloop. So let's get those parts going. I forgot I've got the cargo down here. I can just do it from there. Let's go ahead and add a couple of these on just to have stuff to be able to walk on. I'm going to use up some of my components I needed for the other stuff. On that, that's okay. Still not quite used to having a jetpack. Most playthroughs I don't have a jetpack in gravity environments. So let's just redo this since I used up some of my components. So we want you. It blue blooped at me, but it did take it. And you. And you. Still making the large steel tube, looks like. And then if it turns out we can need a lot more ice, then we can add storage onto this. No problem. Alright, you are almost done. You are almost done. Where's my control for this? It's this way. So this will be ice in. There we go. Now we got some large steel tubes. Perfect. And this will be connector ice in. In case we need to know that. Alright, how much storage do you have? Oh, you have 10,000 liters. Okay. So we're going to have, I think, plenty of ice coming in. And then I can build a little tiny miner off screen. You've seen me do that before. Okay, so that will get us going. Do I have any ice I can just go ahead and throw in here? And then I need a conveyor sorter, probably coming off this end. Actually, I don't know how that works. It has to be conveyored up. Can we filter out? I guess I can blacklist ice so it doesn't pull the ice through. And that should work. Because this needs to be conveyored up to the farm plots so they can get water, if that wasn't clear. How are we doing in the ice department? We have some ice. Perfect. That's plenty for the O2H2. So let's get some ice. Put in this guy. They can go and do stuff. And then basically this color here is green if everything that needs water has water. Since there's nothing that needs water, it's all good. It is happy. So we have our water system that can go into the farm. Now we need an actual farm. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I did find some wheat. I found one lonely little wheat that I know how to spell. Oh, it's called grain, I think. There it is. Found one lonely little wheat down here in the valley. I was just searching around low down with my jetpack, giving a good thorough search. And I found some mushroom. I found a mushroom and a grain. I've been calling it wheat. The game calls it grain. So we have a grain seed. We're gonna start with that, and we're gonna build a farm, and it's gonna be glorious. That's the idea, anyway. So I probably need a bunch more interior plate. Grab that. Grab some of these. Grab some of those. I'm gonna need a lot more interior plate because we're gonna be laying out stuff. Let's grab some more of those. I went ahead and built up a bunch of stuff, including another battery, so we'd have that. Is that a wolf? No. Okay. So the farm is going to be elevated a bit. That's part of the plan. And then there's going to be a conveyor running down. Oh, he's shooting at somebody. So there's meat out there somewhere. I have no idea where that wolf was. This berry bush keeps respawning. I'm pretty sure I picked this a few times. Alright, I'm going to get the kind of skeleton of what I want to do here laid out, and then we'll work on some of the more intricate details of plumbing it up and whatnot. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay, this is going to be a farm. Can you see it? No, not really. You'll see it eventually. So all these are going to have little grow plots on them. I forget, what are they called? Farm plots. There we go. So those are all going to have little farm plots on them. And we're going to start with one row. And I'm going to see... So the idea is I thought I could reach... Oh, I can't reach. I thought I could reach over 2. Throw some temporary floors in here. Can I not reach... Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to reach that. To plant. So I might have to change this up a bit. Maybe do 2, 2. Yeah, I'm not able to reach that like I thought I could. Okay, stand by. Slight change of plans. I just need to shuffle some stuff around. Okay, does this look like a farm now? I think I have a plan. Let's go with farm plots again. So I'm going to do 2 and 2, 2 and 2. Then I can get to each side to replant. And we'll have 4 rows. So let's make sure our build planner is empty. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then that should be full. Yep. Alright, let's grab those. Throw some stuff into production. So I want to get at least some stuff growing, and then I'm going to have to do a whole lot of welding. And then I'm going to need to find a silicon mine as well, because I'm going to make a lot of glass. This is going to be kind of a greenhouse. And I don't want to plant too much at first, because I need to get this enclosed. So I think if a storm comes by, it can damage the crops. So we're going to work out for us, for sure. Let's get a few of these welded up. What I might do is just enclose maybe these first inside 4 and just get wheat growing, grain. Because I only have the 1 seed, so I want to plant that and hopefully get 2 seeds back, maybe? I think it's kind of random. But I'm really hoping it's more than... I'm sure it's more than 1-to-1. Otherwise you'd never be able to grow your stock. But hey, we'll find out. But I'm going to go ahead and make all of these 4. And then we're going to get the inner 4 plumbed up. And since I have a bunch of berry seeds, I might experiment with the berry seeds. And see what they survive being exposed. Alright, so we have our farm plots. And if I go to Here, do I need the... Ah, here we have to click on it. Current crop type none and water level is empty. So we need to get the water from there into here. And that's what all these are. These are all conveyor tubes. And I think I'm going to have the water come in right here. So this one actually needs to be a slightly different one. So let's get that plumbed in. And we don't have anything in the reinforced, so we're just going to have to go with the old conveyor junction. And I think we'll do that. Then we can go back. I like these reinforced conveyor tubes. They're just kind of cool looking. And then for the external, I was thinking since it's liquid, might go pipe. But I'm not sure this is actually going to be external. This may end up being internal because I've got a big mechanism in mind to harvest the crops. And we're going to have to build that. So we'll probably have some kind of structure around it. We might be... Are we full up? Small? No, we're not full up. Why is the refinery... Oh, it somehow didn't get the rest of the stone. This is why I need Izzy, so just... or some better sorting. We do have quite a bit of nickel now, so that's good. Let's go back to... Do we have any iron ore left? Iron ore. No, we don't. We're just down to nickel, huh? Alright.
Energy low.
Yeah, I hear you. Oops. Let's go to stone. Let's just feed that full of stone for now. So we are going to need some more iron, but I need to process through much of the stone, and then we'll get Tiny Miner going again. Let's grab some plates. And definitely before I weld, we're going to have to go get some energy. Alright, build planner is empty again, so let's grab that, that, and then that twice. Alright, before I forget, let's go. I don't have any way to recharge over here. So we'll just hop in the ship here for a bit. While we're setting, we'll munch on some lovely kelp crisps. Really wish I could find the wolf meat. I'm gonna have to look into a solution for that. Be nice if there was a mod that would like mark them on your HUD. You know, we're in the future, right? We should be able to find these wolves at the gunshot. Maybe there's some other clever way to figure that out. Bonk. Alright, let's start drawing components out. You get a bunch of this tubing welded up, and we'll be back in with some hopefully watered farm plots. Oh, and real quick, it reminded me while I was welding, I had a request from a commenter to use a mod that cuts down the glare of the welding because it causes them migraines. So if the welding looks a little different, I've added a mod. It kind of cuts down on a bunch of the flashing. Just in case you were wondering, that's why the welding looks different. Yeah, something's right here. I'll get the build planner sorted out. I want to get these 4 farm plots right here plumbed in, and we'll continue from there. Alright, I've got 2 of these up, and you can see... Oh, no, it changed back to green already. It changed to a teal color. You get that filled up already? No, it still says empty. Oh, because I haven't done this yet, right? Derp. Let me get this welded up, and I'll show you the different colors. So that was kind of an aqua color for a little bit while it finished filling up that farm plot. There we go, all successful. So you can see it's green. As soon as this gets welded up, it should go to a different color. Unless that works differently than I thought. Yeah, it's still saying green. You're welded up, you're welded up. You still say empty. It's surely not out of ice, is it? It would be a different color if it was out of ice, right? Nope, you're definitely not out of ice. Okay, well, maybe this works differently than I thought. It was changing colors earlier. That's the T-tube. I didn't build that wrong, did I? No, that's a T-tube. That's a... oh. No, that's a T like it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's pointed correctly. Water level high, yeah. Water level empty. Why won't you get water? That's a junction, that's a T. Alright, let me do some figuring and see what's going on. Alright, I ground everything down, replaced it, and it works now. So see, it's like a teal color. That's weird. I ground down this, the farm plot, and the tube that's underneath it. I put it all back exactly how it was. I don't know. Maybe a viewer will catch something I missed. So it's back to green now, and water level high. So that's all good. I don't know. Maybe it's the order I put things down. Maybe I just missed something obvious. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to get this stuff welded up, and hopefully it works. And we'll go from there. We'll have our 4 farm plots. Alright, let's see if I get these welded up, if it's going to work as expected. Yeah, we got a teal light over here. And it should pull enough water from the ice to fill those next 2 up. And then it will go green, and green means everything is all good. Don't know how long that takes. And how are we looking on ice quantity over here? Okay, we're good. Eventually going to need an ice supply coming in. There we go, all green. So all 4 of these should be good. So I think what I want to do for an experiment is enclose these 4, and then I'm going to do some experiment with berries down there. But let's get this welded up. I do have just armor block here. This will probably get replaced with something else. But in the interest of having this all closed in, I'm going to weld these blocks up. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put probably some glass around it with the door. And we'll see how that goes. Didn't get many parts drawn out, did we? Yeah, we got lots of parts. Alright, more welding for me. More waiting for you. Well, not much. It's a jump cut. Well, I got a decent way towards getting this closed done. And ran out of silicon. So, we need to go get some silicon. I've got some marked over that way. It's not that far away. So, I think I will take my... Which has more storage? That has the 2 cargo containers, right? I put the extra... No, it's got the cargo container and the connector. Let's just take the little flyer over. I think that should work. 4 kilometers away, shouldn't be that bad. The guns have been shooting 2 or 3 wolves. So there's meat back there somewhere, but like I said, I don't have a way to find it. I can cheat and turn the grass off, but I don't like doing that all the time. So let's fly over here. This is right next to the lake, if I remember right. Yep, there's the lake. So the ice tiny miner is going to have a little bit of a journey cut out for it. But it won't take it long to fly over here. I should probably remember to change the battery percentage. Make sure it has plenty of battery to get back to base. All kinds of berry bushes over here, so it does look like those respawn. While we're over here, we could actually go check the berry bush, the science one. So check that, we'll come back for the silicon. I'm pretty sure they do respawn, like somebody said they did. No, I marked those. I can't remember what's on the lake itself. Alright, there should be a berry bush right up here. If they do indeed respawn. Well, I'm not seeing a berry bush. Maybe they respawn in the area, because there's definitely not a berry bush there. But they do respawn in the area, it looks like. So, yep. Alright. Confirmed. No berry bush there. I'll leave that marker in case I want to come actually check it again. But... Alright, I'm going to go grab some silicon. I'm going to have to burrow underground a little bit to get that, and then we'll head back and we'll finish up the little farm plot setup. And get some grain growing so we can see if we get more seeds. And if we do, we're just going to have to crank out some seeds and get our giant wheat farm going. But I also want to grow all the other stuff as well to make some of these higher class meals. So we're easy to fill up, basically. This valley is full of berry bushes, so we'll definitely have plenty of those. So I'm going to dig some silicon, and I'll be back in a bit. There we go. We got the refinery chewing through that, and we got a little more stone left here, it looks like. Yeah, just a little bit. So we'll let it chew on that. It is cranking through the stone. The assembler's slowly making my glass. Let that chug for a little bit, and yeah, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun kind of goes like that, so I think it's safe to say we're still pretty far north. But I love this valley. It's great views. Nice little spot. So I'm going to have to get a tiny miner going to that silicon mine eventually, because we're going to need a lot of glass. This whole farm is going to be like a big greenhouse, basically. So we'll have to get that going. Lots more to do. Let's see how we're doing on parts. Get this finished welded up. You're good. You're good. Just basically girders and glass. That's what we got left here to do. It's still, yeah, still just sucking up the silicon as fast as it'll go. Alright, more waiting. Back in a bit. Slow going, folks. It's almost worth building a large refinery at this point. Because once we get cranking through this. I'm pretty sure the basic refinery is really slow at everything except maybe stone and iron. I'm not sure. But the more advanced stuff, I think, goes faster in the big refinery. I could also... I don't think the basic refinery takes speed modules, right? So the other advantage of the big refinery is you can put modules on it. Yeah, no modules. Pretty sure. Yeah, no modules on that. So it's slow going. Just kind of hanging around. Seeing what's up. Looking for wolves. Wouldn't mind having some more wolf meat. It will take a little spin around the neighborhood here. How's my hydrogen bottle? It's full. Sweet. It was over there somewhere. I think I found the wheat last time. We could take a little spin around and see what we see. A lot of the comments were saying like the savannah area is more prone to having wheat, which makes sense. If I remember right, it was also a little harder to spot. It blends in with the grass pretty well. The berries, of course, are super easy to spot. We might as well grab those. In fact, I can even just snack on that. Just eat them directly. Do I have this boulder marked? Yeah, I think this was ice. Is it magnesium? Oh, it's cobalt. I do believe I have this marked. Yep. So I've got that one marked. If we ever need a quick little jolt of cobalt, we have that boulder there. So this was what I was doing the other day when I found that wheat. Just kind of flying around. Seeing what I could see. There's a lot of room for building down in this valley. I like it. Some more. Oh, is that grain? I think we found some more. Ta-da! Alright, that's why you go exploring in your beautiful little valley. See how that blended right in with the grass? It is devious. We got another boulder over here. You might actually be silicon. Yep, I thought you looked like silicon. Oops. No, the wrong buttons. There we go. We'll add that one. We could come over and munch that with the rover. What else we got out here in the wide savanna? It was somewhere over here where I found that first grain, so that might have been the respawn. Like if there's just one that can spawn in this area, it might be the respawn from the one I found. So I'll have to just kind of come check this into the valley every once in a while. I suppose I could mine out that silicon boulder with the tiny miner. If it's really worth setting that all up. That's cool. We can plant at least 2 wheat now. Hopefully get our seed stock built up. And this episode's going to run a little too long. We're not going to get the mechanism made. There's just a whole lot of welding and whatnot that needs to happen before we get to that. Alright, no more wheat. Let's head kind of back over towards the hab area. Well, speaking of hab, I don't think... Did I ever even show my hab? If I didn't show my hab, I'll show it off again. Here's our perpetual berry bush again. This one always spawns right out here in front of the farm. I might have shown this. I don't remember. It's just the basics. It's a place to sleep and eat and poop. That's pretty much it. A little kitchen, a little library, shower, bathroom, and a bed. And yeah, that's it. We can sit here and think. Or we can sit here and stink. Either one. That works. Want to get event controller set up to close that. Like I said, I need to get the data center at some point built. This stuff's all kind of temporary. I will probably make some kind of better little industrial complex at some point. Especially if I need to ramp up and build a large refinery. We might just have to bite the bullet. This is crafting so slow. Might just have to bite the bullet and build a large refinery, like a regular refinery, and also a large cargo. So I just made this one 3x3 flat. This whole part of the ceiling, and then this I've got covered up with half blocks just to see if that makes any difference at all in the growth. I'm kind of curious. A little bit of shade has anything at all to do with it. Alright, we're waiting on 36 more glass. So, another crossfade. Alright, we're finally enclosed. I don't have this airlocked or anything, so I wouldn't want to open this during a storm. If it gets to be like cold or low O2. But for right now, it doesn't necessarily matter. Let's grab our seeds. Got 2 of the grain seeds. And we got some of the fruit seeds. So let's put the grain here. So if we go here, click on that, we've got water level high. Let's plant that. It's the start of the wheat farm. Are you excited? I think that's worth a thumbnail. The sun's not in an ideal location, but that's okay. And then let's plant some fruit here. And I think I had a mushroom seed. Meant to grab that as well. Mushroom. Mushroom spores. There we go. They even call them spores. Look at them. Look at them go. We got plenty of fruit. We want to grow a fruit farm. We're all set. Mushrooms like to be in the dark, right? Okay, we're going to let that grow. It's already grown 2%. 43 minutes, it says. 16 liters per minute just for that plot. Interesting. I wonder if that means we're going to blow through our ice pretty quick. I might have to go make an ice strip. I need to get another tiny miner built up as well. So I can work on that in between. I might just turn that guy into the ice miner. Because I've already got the projector over there set up to build. And I could build another one over there. But yeah, exciting times. We have our first crops growing in our little temporary greenhouse. This is going to turn into quite the farm. So I'm going to have it go out at least that far. I'm going to get some pistons. This is all going to go away. The plan is to have automated harvesting. So there's going to be a giant overhead thing that comes along here and harvests all this stuff. So that is the plan. I've got a lot of building to do, a lot of materials to make. We have our iron mine. We need to get some silicon coming in, as well as some ice coming in. So, as the great Splitsy says, all that and more coming up in the next episode. Just watching Splitsy's newest Survival Impossible. Good stuff. If you're watching Space Engineers, I'm sure you know who Splitsy is. But in case you don't, do yourself a favor. Go to YouTube. Search for Splitsy. S-P-L-I-T-S-I-E. Awesome Space Engineers content creator. Go check him out. Thanks for hanging out, folks. I'll catch you in the next adventure. Take care.